everyone. Welcome to another episode of The O Show. I'm O, and I'm here for your amusement. Okay, you guys, so, I want to talk about a movie that came out in 1990. And I had a whole fight with myself earlier because I swore this movie came out, earlier, right? I remember watching it so much as a kid in my childhood home before I moved in 91. But I don't know. So it had to be like a straight-to-TV, made-for-TV movie. I'm pretty sure it was. But the movie is called The Kid Who Loved Christmas. I remember it was early 90s they stopped showing this movie, which is really a shame because the movie is actually pretty good. And wait till we get to who's in the movie, right? But you know what I hate? I feel like we need more Christmas movies like this. Nowadays, you have Lifetime, you have Hallmark, and I swear all the stories are the same. Ooh, I'm so lonely on Christmas. Ooh, no one loves me. And then, oh, I just ran into this homeless man outside. And then 2 hours later, they're in love. Sometimes I watch to see who's in it. One year there was a movie with Ashanti in it. I was like, okay, let me watch that. But if they put some superstars in there or something, I'll watch it. But other than that, everything's just the same. So, okay, so look, you guys, look. The cast of this movie is ridiculous. I remember when I first watched it, I knew most of the people in it, but I didn't appreciate all the people in it until I got older. You have Michael Warren. He is playing Tony Parks. He is the father. And his wife is played by Vanessa Williams. This is around, I think Vanessa had an album already out. It might have been The Right Stuff, I think. And I think this is one of her earlier movie roles. So she plays Lynette Parks, and they are on a 6-month trial period to adopt a kid named Reggie, who's played by Trent Cameron. And then I was I feel I know him from other things, right? I didn't put two and two together until now. Do you remember the movie The Wood? He played young Roland in the movie. But what I really remember him from is he was on The Parkers, and he played Kim's boyfriend, Jarrell. Oh, yeah, that's him. Let's see. You have Ray Parker Jr., okay? He's in this band that Tony has. You have Charlie Murphy. Before I even knew who Charlie Murphy was. Look, y'all, I was also watching that movie Harlem Nights. And I was like, hey, that's that guy from Harlem Nights. Which I shouldn't be watching Harlem Nights at that time, but whatever, I did. But I didn't realize at first that was Charlie Murphy, brother to Eddie Murphy. And Eddie Murphy is an executive producer on this movie. Don't know how that happened, but he is, right? So yeah, Charlie Murphy in it. You have Sammy Davis Jr., and this was actually his last film role was this movie. That's so crazy. You got Della Reese, who was also in Harlem Nights at the time. I think those movies are a year apart. So you have Della Reese all nice and sweet in this movie, and then she's swearing and cursing at Eddie Murphy in another movie. It's really funny. Okay, let's see who else. You got Ben Vereen, right? You got Jason Weaver when he was younger. You got Irma P. Hall. You got Kelly Caulfield, who was from In Living Color. I'm surprised she wasn't in a lot more stuff after In Living Color, but I know I saw her in Jerry Maguire, but that was it. I don't think she did a lot after that. But the two big names after this are Esther Rolle and Cicely Tyson, y'all. Listen to this cast. I'm telling you, you have to see this movie. Okay, so I'm not going to tell a lot of the movie, and I will say if you are interested, I really do recommend it. It is actually streaming on YouTube. Someone did record the movie and put it out on YouTube, and I'm super thankful because, like I said, they stopped showing it, and really, I think a few years ago, I saw it on one of those black networks. It wasn't BET. It was one of those I I don't know. I can't think of the other channels right now. Well, it was one of those, like, they play a lot of black shows, black movies, and one year it was on. I was like, well, thank God for this channel, or else I would not be able to see this movie ever again. Okay, so look. So it does take place in Chicago, and like I said, Tony and Lynette are on a 6-month trial period for adopting Reggie. Now, one night after putting up the Christmas tree, Vanessa Williams' character, her client needed her and something, so she had to go out late that night. And unfortunately, she got into a bad car accident from a drunk driver. So, with Tony now being alone, Cicely Tyson is actually playing the foster or the social worker. So that's her case. But now that he's widower, she's like, well, my boss wants to talk to you because you're a single parent now. And she thinks that you need to just give Reggie up and just put him in another family where there's 2 people. Like, fucked up, right? So that's pretty much like the whole movie is Reggie wanting to go back home with Tony. Tony's like, he's my son. Like, I love him. I want to be with him. And Esther Roll is like, hell no, he won't go. Okay? Like, she's like determined. Like, I don't care your feelings. Like, I think you can't do it. So Tony, he had this insurance job and he quit and he wanted to do music full time. So now she's like, well, you're a musician with this band. You can't raise a child on the road and da-da-da-da. So someone was like, you know what, maybe if you get your old job back and show like a stable like 9 to 5 and you could be home and we may think about it. So he does. He quits his band, goes back to his old job, and then he goes, look, y'all. Ooh. And they were like, and? He's like, you told me if I get my job. Like, they were like, we didn't make no promises. Like, damn. So anyway, this kid Reggie, right? So he gets taken away. He goes to like the foster place. What's that place called where foster kids live? The orphanage. Is it an orphanage? Yeah, right? I think so. So they put him in another family, and that's where you see Irma P. Hall. She already has like 3 other kids, and she has strict rules, and you do this and do that, and crazy. So he is a runaway. So now we're looking for him. He's out in the cold. There's a whole Marshall Fields scene, and he also has a pet hamster that he's walking around the city with, and oh man, so they find him. He finds the band. He goes back home to Tony, and it's just crazy, you guys. So towards the end of the movie, everyone just hates Esther Roll's character. Her name was Esther Clayton, I think, in the movie. But Esther Roll is like a bitch. She ain't the happy Florida Evans we all know from Good Times. So Cicely Tyson's like fed up with her. Tony's fed up with her. Like, he goes to her apartment and just runs amok, okay? He is like knocking pictures and shit off the counter. He's like, you shut up and listen to me, lady. You're going to give me my son back. And then she has him put into jail. But after that, Reggie gets put into another foster home with this white couple. Like, they already have a baby, so I don't even understand this situation. But they pretty much don't even know he's there. Like, the craziness. So yeah, he runs away. And Esther finally finds him in the end, and they have a conversation. She remembers her past because she was a foster child. And after like this heartfelt like conversation in a church, she's like, you know what? I'm going to do the right thing. But now Tony's all depressed and shit, so he has a friend that came out of town. It was like, come back to New Orleans with me for the holidays and just forget everything that's happening. So they find out what's happening. They all go to Union Station to catch him, and they get there, and his train is pulling off. But as soon as the train pulls away, they see that he actually got off the train. They reunite, and it's a happy ending. So, did I just say at the beginning I wasn't going to tell what happened in this movie, and I just did? I'm sorry, guys. I got super excited. Like, I love this movie. It's so good. So, yeah, again, if you're tired of, oh, my old friend, I had no Christmas plans. Like, Fuck those Hallmark movies. Watch this movie. Give it a try. Again, it's streaming out on YouTube. Hey, hashtag YouTube. If you are interested. So, have you ever seen this movie? Have you heard of this movie? Again, it came out in 1990. I don't know what channel it used to play on. I feel like when it came out, they played it a lot. Cause I didn't remember it being on TV a lot. So they must have just like been rerunning it. It's probably Fox, because Fox was good with that back in the day. Once they show a movie, it was usually on like the next week and the week after that. That's probably why I feel like it was out longer. But yeah, let me know in the comments below. And I'm going to think of what else I want to talk about. So, alright, so until then, TTFN, y'all.